$300,000 worth of gold spills out of a sluice box in a single day. Cheers erupt, but by nightfall, that same mine turns into a war zone of accusations, backstabbing, and broken partnerships. This isn't just a show about mining. This is Gold Rush, reality TV's most cutthroat frontier. For over a decade, cameras have captured every ounce of gold, every dollar lost, and every feud that nearly destroyed entire crews. Today, we're digging up the dirtiest rivalries, betrayals, and blowups that shaped the show's legacy. Who walked away rich, and who got buried under the weight of ambition? 5. Todd Hoffman versus Parker Schnabel. The battle for Gold Rush supremacy. In the early seasons of Gold Rush, Todd Hoffman was the face of blind ambition. He brought a ragtag group of greenhorns to the Klondike, betting it all on a dream. Then came Parker Schnabel, a teenager with a mining pedigree and something to prove. What started as a generational contrast quickly turned into a full-blown rivalry. Todd's chaotic leadership clashed with Parker's methodical precision. When Parker began outproducing Todd, tensions exploded. In Season 5, the two competed head-to-head for the highest gold haul. Parker came out on top, pulling over 2,500 ounces. Todd barely crossed 1,300. What made it worse? Parker did it with fewer people, less drama, and brutal efficiency. Hoffman accused Parker of arrogance. Parker mocked Todd's mistakes. Viewers picked sides, and Gold Rush leaned in, turning their rivalry into the backbone of the series. 4th, Parker Schnabel versus Tony Beets, when mentors become enemies. Tony Beets was supposed to be a mentor to Parker. The old-school miner leased ground to him, taught him about dredging, and even vouched for his skills. But money changes everything. When Parker started negotiating harder on royalties and pushing into new ground, Tony saw red. Their business relationship soured in Season 8 when Parker refused to pay an extra 100 ounces in royalties. Tony fired off a voicemail so heated it became legendary among fans. Parker accused Tony of squeezing him dry. Tony called Parker a greedy brat. What was once a mentorship morphed into a tense standoff between Yukon titans. Even their crews started butting heads. And yet both men kept coming back season after season because even hate can drive ratings. 3. Dave Turin versus Freddie Dodge. Brothers divided. They weren't blood, but they were brothers in arms. Dave Turin and Freddie Dodge had worked together for years. They respected each other, trusted each other, until things fell apart. In Season 7, Dave decided to leave the Hoffman crew and strike out on his own. Freddie followed a different path, helping other miners optimize their wash plants. But their separation came with tension. Dave accused Freddie of turning his back. Freddie claimed Dave didn't listen to advice. Their feud came to a head off camera when Dave tried to hire away one of Freddie's team members. A verbal showdown followed. Neither man returned to work together. Fans were divided. Some blamed Dave's ego. Others said Freddie abandoned a sinking ship. The worst part, neither one ended up with a breakout success. Dave's solo venture struggled with breakdowns and bad luck. Freddie's advisory role kept him in the background. In trying to prove themselves separately, they both lost the magic that made them a powerhouse team. 2nd, Rick Ness versus Parker Schnabel, protege turns competitor. Rick Ness started as Parker's right-hand man, loyal, hardworking, and completely green. Over time, he became indispensable. So when Rick announced he was starting his own operation, it shocked Parker. Season 9 documented the split. Parker felt betrayed. Rick felt underestimated. And suddenly, the student was trying to outdo the master. The drama wasn't just emotional, it was financial. Rick struggled with funding, equipment failures, and crew mutiny. Parker mocked his inefficiency. Rick hit back, accusing Parker of micromanagement and emotional manipulation. Their feud reached a boiling point during a shared claim negotiation. Parker accused Rick of trying to undercut him. Rick fired back, "You think you're the only one who knows how to dig dirt?" The audience ate it up. But off camera, both men later admitted the stress nearly broke them. Rick took a season off due to mental health. Parker retreated into tighter, smaller crews. The scars of their rivalry didn't just fade, they reshaped how both men approach mining. Fred Lewis versus Greg Remsburg, legal action and loyalty gone wrong. Fred Lewis entered the show as a military veteran trying to build a team of fellow vets. His mission was honorable, but in practice, it sparked one of the show's ugliest conflicts. Greg Remsburg, a longtime miner and fan favorite, joined Fred's crew to help get them off the ground. But disagreements over strategy, safety, and leadership mounted fast. Greg accused Fred of poor planning. Fred accused Greg of undermining morale. Things escalated when Greg left mid-season and began speaking publicly about his concerns. Fred fired back on social media, suggesting Greg had violated contracts and NDAs. Then came the lawsuit. Court records show Fred attempted to block Greg from appearing on other Discovery shows, citing intellectual property rights. Greg responded with claims of mismanagement and emotional abuse. The case was quietly settled, but the damage was public. For fans, it was a devastating look behind the curtain. Two men who stood for something bigger than gold, veteran pride and second chances, had turned on each other completely. Tony Beats, king of the Klondike. Despite feuds with nearly every major miner on the show, Tony Beats has carved out a kingdom in the Yukon. His dredging operations became iconic. His family, especially his fiery daughter Monica, stepped into leadership roles, and his empire kept expanding. Tony adapted. While others burned out, he leaned into his gruff image. He made deals with local indigenous communities. He modernized his equipment. He turned his feud-fueled fame into long-term dominance. And the payoff? Multi-million-dollar seasons and a legacy that's practically bulletproof. Parker Schnabel, the lone wolf, rises. Parker learned from every fight. He shed dead weight, cut ties with drama-prone crew members, built tighter, more loyal teams. He also diversified. Parker invested in Australian operations, launched a YouTube channel breaking down his mining techniques, and spoke at industry expos. His brand became bigger than the show. The boy who once clashed with everyone had grown into a focused, calculating machine. Less ego, more gold. Rick Ness, redemption and progress. After stepping away from mining to address his mental health, Rick Ness made a quiet return. He rebuilt his crew, focused on smaller goals, and stopped chasing Parker's numbers. This season, Rick pulled in just under 900 ounces, far from a record, but enough to rebuild trust. Viewers cheered his comeback, and more importantly, Rick found peace in the process. Sometimes the richest redemption is surviving your own downfall. So what do these feuds teach us? That gold is never just about money. It's about ego, legacy, respect. Gold Rush didn't just show us how to mine. It showed us how ambition can tear people apart. Friendships collapsed, families fractured, lawsuits flew, and yet they kept digging. Because underneath every feud was a shared truth. They all wanted to matter, to prove they could strike it big, to leave something behind. In a way, Gold Rush is less about gold than it is about the human condition. What happens when you give someone a dream, a camera, and a ticking clock? You get alliances forged in mud, betrayals written in bedrock, and sometimes, just sometimes, you get redemption. So now we ask you, who really won these feuds? Was it Parker's cold strategy or Tony's brute force? Was Todd Hoffman a fool or a pioneer? Drop your answers in the comments. Who do you think struck it richest, in gold, in growth, or in grit? And if this deep dive into the drama behind the dredge got you hooked, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because out here, the real treasure isn't gold. It's the truth behind the feud. And if you want more deep dives into your favorite actors and filmmakers, make sure to subscribe to FilmVert.